Hey y'all, okay, so I was going to go over some of my old keying kits that are no longer in use. And it's just to show you how keying kits used to come. For the most part, it's all like either manufacturer specific or lab 03 or 05. 03 all the way. But over the decades of doing this, we have collected our fair share of different kinds of keying kits. So I am going to show them to you. I've got them all out because I am rearranging one of the drawers that some of them are in. The other ones are just in the back room, and I needed some parts out of one. So I went ahead and grabbed all of them, and I'm going to put them back up where they need to be together instead of all like 3 here, 2 there. But I've got some out over there, I've got a few out over here, so I'm just going to go through and show you old keying kits. To start off with, we have our Lab 05 kit that was a square. And I never liked 05 kits. Sorry. Never ever got into using 5/1000 pins. So this one has gone by the wayside. Good, I guess backup or whatever, but yeah, salvage some springs out of there. So anyway, there's that one. Steel seals fairly tight. Okay, this one is a Klein Tools organizer, and it was Schlage. We use this for Schlage and Baldwin, but all these are, see how deep these pockets are. You can fit like 5,000 pins in here. Definitely high volume kit, and room for parts. We can see we've got even, damn. Got all sorts of parts in here. And no telling if some of these parts could be very, very handy nowadays to repair things. And that was one reason I was looking in the quick-set kit that I was about to get to, because I needed some clips instead of ordering them. I knew I had them in that kit. So, oh look, a stamp. An M. Oh God, look at this. Oh, the M stamp. One of the most used stamps ever. This one is getting kind of squirrely. So we are going to replace it with a good M stamp. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. I knew there was a reason for this. That just makes it all worthwhile. M obviously is the most used stamp because people stamp M for master, which is not a great idea, but who am I to say no if they want it done? But anyway, as we can see, this one is completely full. Here's a deadbolt to show you the comparison. Deep, super deep, but that is full. Obviously, would need to all be sorted out, but some of these little rings and screws. There's a tailpiece screw. There's very valuable parts in here. There's even some mushroom pins, set screws, just all sorts of stuff that could be used if I needed it. And then we'll go on over to my 03 specialty products. I remember this bitch. I didn't like it. I didn't like this bitch either, but we'll get to that in a minute. This one is set up just like a regular lab. You know, kind of like what's commonly sold today, just a standard lab kit shape-wise. I like this one more than this one because, as you can see, trying to get master pins out of these little things, you had to have tweezers to get those. And I like being able to just grab pins out with my fingertips. So, this one is pretty much dead. Never know what you're going to find in the bottom of those besides, gotta be careful here. So, and then on the specialty one, it is steel seal's okay, but the latches have seen some better days. But fairly empty for the most part. And the chart is kind of died. So I could put this back into operation if I wanted to. I'd probably take it out and sandblast it. But that tab would need to be fixed a little bit, but it's still seals. All right, and again, this one, the chart is pretty much dead here. Still there after all these years, but very crinkly, cracked, and again, one of the worst ones that I ever used because of this really narrow master pen section. Did not like that at all. But again, it's one thing you gotta give to lab manufacturing. They made some freaking latches that would last. Okay, over here. This is what I came for to get stuff out of. This is a Kwikset Emhart kit, when Kwikset was a division of Emhart. And this is a service kit and a keying kit. And we can see it is fairly deep as well. You can hold a ton of pins in here. And the awesome things about these kits from back then was the abundance of parts. You have these gears for handle sets, which this is actually this is probably like the only sealed new pack of these in existence today, unless somebody else goes and digs around in their kit. That's crazy that I have those. I've forgotten that I have this. That's something off of a handle set rack. We see handle set parts. These are old Kwikset handle sets that are really pretty much on their last leg all the way around. We actually have some torque springs in here that are not in here, so those get snatched out pretty quick and used. But extensions for thick doors, I can definitely use this. That's spindle extension 1890 right there. You slip this on the end of a Kwikset, which I can still use these today. Slip that onto the Kwikset and it extends it out, or slip this end in and that extends it out a little bit. Of course, you have to have screws for thick doors, which these are posts for the old deadbolts, and even some screws left over there too. So I could thick door up a couple of doors if I needed to with this kit. Not much in the way of pins left though. This was top and then bottom, 1 through 6, 1 through 5 with the top pins. I'll be able to pack of top pins there. But otherwise, this kit is only good for what I came for. Actually, I want to get these two Kwikset springs. Using lab springs in Kwikset locks is not the greatest sometimes. You almost kind of have to have these Kwikset springs to use, so I will transfer some of these into my other kit to have. And these are what I came for, these fellas, these little clips that go on the back of the deadbolt. So I needed that, and I needed the knob clips and springs. So I'm gonna grab those out of there before this fella gets put up. Okay, so over here I've got two kits that kind of made their way to me. I didn't really need them or anything, and I've never used either of these kits. This is for Dexter, obviously, Dexter. And it had some, it's pretty much empty. It's got some master pins, got some bottom pins, and again, parts. Tons of little parts are in it. Now this is not actually factory keying kit. This is a prefab kit, or somebody put it together. But tons of these little parts. However, you just don't see this in Dexter. You don't see Dexter being used a lot. Dexter is now owned by Schlage, And for the most part, it is similar to like Defiant and other. Oh, I got a seized up core there. Oh, fuck it, get a new one. So, not a lot of use. Whenever I run up on Dexter, I'm just going to use my 3000s kit. Now, this one took a minute because there's no indication, but then I noticed this, and more importantly, I noticed this. So this is a profile cylinder can kit. This is to go into the profile cylinder. Check out this plug follower. It is stamped Schlage. I'm going to clean this bad boy up, and I have tried to use this one over the years, but presumably you clamp up your pins, and I don't know how this is done. Honestly don't. It looks like you clamp your pins up, slide it in, and like somehow get them to go in. Maybe your springs? I have no clue. Maybe you put your springs in there and squeeze them a little bit and then let it go, and the springs will drop in all 5 at once. But we can see it has a solid stop there. And it is Schlage. It is not marked anything but Schlage with the old logo. So, we're going to investigate this further. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of the kit. And I have a couple of these sitting around, and I never knew what they were for. But they're in with this kit, and we have got a ton of rings here. So these rings have to be what go on the back of plugs for profile cylinders. And I know where this kit came from. This is for CES profile cylinders, or I'm sorry, Jado brand. So these are all Jado parts. Jado cylinders were sealed. In other words, this ring somehow was crimped around the back of it. And I've actually got a tool in the truck. You put this ring on, then you squeeze it together, and it's a crimping tool to crimp this ring on. So I'm assuming this, to get this sucker apart, you would take this cutting edge. Sorry, I'm holding the phone up here, but you would like, I guess you take this thing right here, goes in and cuts it away. You tap it, and it cuts it off. I've got like 2 or 3 of these that were not in this kit, so that is interesting. But also, if we look at these pins, we see they were balling with the serrated spool. And even, if I can get one out of here. Nope. There's one. Nope. There we go. Look at this bottom pin here. Serrated bottom pins as well. Very lightly serrated, but nonetheless, they were serrated. And look at this fella. No, same thing. Wait a minute. Some of them just look deeper serrated. So you got your spool all drivers, spool plain, and serrated bottom pins. And some springs here. Really fat springs with some ball bearings. I'm assuming that gave it the clicky feel. So here's another Klein Tools that this was in. This kit this may actually have been an original kit that Jado sent out. Of course, Jado is not really a thing anymore. And lastly, just a bunch of small kits that I've had over the years. Anybody remember these bad boys? Schlage wafer locks. I have sent some of these out to a few of you guys to mess with you. We had the Master, the Series, and the Combination. 3 different wafers in all the locks. Hadn't used that bad boy in a while. Gem pen kits ×2, maybe 3, maybe 4. That's crazy. What's even crazier is... What's even crazier, Jason? I don't know. Oh. Another one. Oh, another one. Freaking tubular locks. Look at this. Now, this is all a carryover from the company that used to have this store a long time ago. And he did a crap load. This is where, I mean, I never knew how to do tubular, and I learned how to do it because when I started here, we did a lot of tubular rekeying. And it was so horrible. It was so horrible. I hate tubular lock rekeying. Hate these retainers. I've even got a drill jig somewhere in here. Where is it? Well, I've got a drill jig somewhere for drilling into that retainer and lifting it out. But Fork brands, these retainers with the thread were much better. Where are we? These are retainers that were pre-threaded. Nowadays, most of the tubular locks do have thread in it, and you basically use a puller to yank the retainer out. But obviously, we rekeyed a crap load of Fort locks as well as tubular locks. Oh, well, look at this. Falcon interchangeable core number 1408. I've actually got 2 Falcon kits. I personally never use these. I've got other rekeying kits, and actually I did not pull them out because they're still considered new. I've got 2 big, I got 1 big and 1 small IC core best kits. And I'm not pulling out that because this is about old kits that I don't use. I still use those. So no, I'm not showing you all the other kits that you've seen in other videos, all the other kits that I use on a daily. 1408, 1409. No telling what the difference is. Lined up a little bit differently. So I got wafer, master kit. Well, that's just awkward as shit, isn't it? Regular kit, master. So you had to use 2 kits. It's just horrible. So anyway, don't use those anymore. Probably could, but yeah. Cam lock service kit. Very, very rarely access this, but this would rekey like Fort and other little common style, not national, but cam locks. Oh wait, that's my ace keys. Okay, so here's some interesting ones here. Crime Fighter rekeyable padlock service kit. This is no key gauge. I could have been using this for a long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for master lock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 27, 77. Hey,
how you doing?
Good. Got just that one going out there.
Okay. I want your wife to jump on me.
Yeah, they sent us a notification.
Mm-hmm.
I said if it doesn't get scanned, we get notices on the shipping.
Okay.
They've started hitting us for that.
You know what? If she wouldn't say nothing, I usually scan the.
Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up, and I got a little plug follower for master. I'd actually, this could be used in my other master kit. I've got an actual master kit that I use, and an American. No, so don't buy an American kit. Just buy the master kit. The American kit is horrible. It's like this big, it's totally useless, plastic case, horrible latches. Don't buy the American kit. But anyway, that's an old guy master kit. Okay, here's a couple interesting ones. Harlock pacemaker. Harlock. Don't run across many of these. I've never... I can't say I've seen any of these around here. But I've got a brand new kit. So the deal with the smell, plastic. If you look it up, then this is the reason why plastic toolboxes smell, because there is a certain type of plastic, which this obviously is, that kind of builds up its own gases. So when you open a plastic toolbox, there's a name for the gas. It's caused by the propylene handles on screwdrivers and the plastic that the kit's made out of. But the reason why kits smell so bad after you open them for a while is because of that chemical that is like just kind of contained in here. Retaining ring pliers. I wish I had the retaining ring pliers in here. Man, somebody stole them. But even so, we got little tail pieces, bigger tail pieces, everything pretty new. Tumbler springs. Jeff Moss loves it when people call things tumblers. Look at those. Those are some old brass tumbler springs right there. Get down in there. Got some pre-cut Harlock, original Harlock keys. And I got some Harlock blanks as well. Whoa. Awesome, Jason. So Harlock had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 depths. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 master wafers, drivers, couple of drivers, and retaining rings. Again, this is one of those things where this right here, this particular retaining ring, is sitting in this kit, and I've got like 30. And one day, I'm gonna run up on a freaking Harlock pacemaker lock, and that ring's gonna break, and I'm gonna be like, damn. But you know, if it's broken, if it's that old, this sucker's been gone for a while, it's just time to replace it. Westlock kit. Again, one of the awesome kits with a bunch of neat little things in there. Look at this little doodad here. Oh, come on out of there. It's a mini cap removal. I can't get it out. Oh, look at that little cute little mini screw cap removal tool thing. No, it's kind of dark. I could use that probably. And down in there we have some washers, screws, importantly, caps. Still run across. Actually, Westlock is still a thing. Those little stupid little springs that were in those key and knob or key locks. There's some short little fancy headed screws. And pretty decent kit. Oh, cylinder caps. That's nice to have. That would be if you've ever worked on a Westlock. These still cap the cylinders today. Springs and like I said, pretty good kit there. So interesting. Paperwork still in here. Oh, and how to rekey. A handy diagram on how to rekey Westlock. I'm amazed that Westlock is still in business and still making the same crap ass stuff. Oh look, I forgot about this guy. Oh, that's a Fort rekey kit. Goes over with my other one there. And oh, look at that. Imagine that. Yep. More tubular. Oh, there's my little removal. And my little drill bits and my little screws. So that is how we took apart these things. See these little fine screws right here? You would drill into this in the side of the body and tap it. My tap's not in there. I don't know what happened to the tap, but that is the guide. Thread your screws in there, and then this just acts like a little bitty tiny puller. Tighten this down and it lifts retainer out so you can rekey it. Again, back in the day when we rekeyed a crap load of Ace. As you can see, a lot of Ace stuff. Oh, and lastly, it's my pride and joy. Watch this. Metal forgers. You can tell old Baldwin stuff by, oh my God, look at that. Brand new key and kit. Metal forgers, Baldwin. Not a single pack has been opened. We've got cams, we've got Baldwin screws. Actually, I really freaking need these screws because I've been scalping them out of other locks. But we've got cams, Adams Wright cams, and then the little special surprise underneath is more parts. Look at this. Look at this. A brass plug follower with a beautiful cutout on the end. Nice hefty plug follower. Unused. That is right. Spacers. Spacers for locks, springs, ball bearings even. Yes. My pride and joy of my antique pennon kits is my 8472 Baldwin. So anyway, that is it. I'm gonna see, not in this video, but we're gonna hilariously try to do something with this. Yeah, 5 at a time never freaking works out. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a good one. I'm gonna go put this right here, and then come look at the camera. I'm gonna go ahead and get all these closed up. Appreciate y'all watching. You know, after you do it for so long, you make your own kits. You make certain things that are for you to use, like these specialty kits that we've used. If you're buying a kit, if you're new in the business and you're buying a kit, just buy one of these 3/1000s. The lab, that one. Or if you want if you don't have as much room, you can get the square style over there from Lab. 3/1000s, 5/1000s. I have always used 3/1000s. I've never liked 5/1000s. In my opinion, in this locksmith's opinion, get the 3/1000s. Plain and simple. Much better. It gives you broad range. You can run. You can work on any lock that you run across, and you'll be good with it. So anyway, that's it. That's my old kits. Thanks for watching, guys. Y'all, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Bye.